G'day folks, welcome to the continuation of this last Blitzkrieg campaign. We're kind of towards the end of this this first turn. It's still the 16th of December. I've got a couple of German activations to go. The Allies are all spent, the Americans are all spent. So we're just now finishing off in the north up here. Everything here is done. We're done down here as well. We do have the 62nd Volks Grenadier, and we've got 116th, who may get a second activation as well. South of here, all formations. Here we have, they are, I'm pretty sure they are done as well, because they activated. Yeah, everything south of here should be done, which means there's still about half a dozen formations, if not more, left to activate. There are some German reinforcements as well coming. They are okay, so let's get started with these activations, and I'm going to start in the south and move my way north. We have got 116th Panzer to activate here, possibly get a second activation. And they're fresh, so they need a 3 or less. They get it, they get a second activation, and they've got the 106th Infantry Division standing in their way. So let's just highlight this formation. So they border the 62nd Volks Grenadier to the north. Let's think about this. I guess they want to push on towards Berg Ruland through here if they can. Clear this road. 112th, 12th, 28th, and where is the 106th HQ? It's up here. They're both in prepared defences, so it's going to be tough. But our armour can get involved in some of these combats. It'd be very nice if we could clear away across the Ur River here. There's two bridges, one in the north up here, and one down here, which I'd like to get my armour across. Before I think about getting that armour across, I might send the infantry in, and we'll get an attack. Well, first of all, a snafu roll. Let's do first things first. They have red support, which is really nice. Snafu is 10. That's going to be a double objective. So we'll create some objective markers. And I like the idea of splitting them up. Getting 2 bites of the chest, although actually they're both within 2 hex of each other, so I can put double objectives here, and they're within the 2 hex range, as you can see there, which is good. Gives me double objective zone for both attacks. I'm going to start with the infantry, and they are going to. I notice there's some 116th Pioneers. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can actually make it, which might be nice if I can move these guys up to assist. 1, 2, 3, 4. It then frees up some of the other infantry, perhaps these guys, attack movement, to fly past. Well, look, I'm being optimistic here, but yeah, maybe fly past some defenders. Now, I'd like to get another unit moving in to launch the attack. And I think I'll do these guys. So they'll go 1, 1.5. Stop there, and we'll get our first attack with the 116th. I should mark them as done because this is their second activation, just so I don't accidentally give them 2 activations. Okay, so we've got some combat going on. Here's a combat roll. We're throwing in our artillery for suppression, because this is a full strength unit, and I want to get a good roll here to get them out of the way. I need basically an automatic retreat roll, so it's going to have to be very high. A 9 is respectable. Okay, so we've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for assistance, 14 for the red support. Let me bring up my combat charts and I'll do it properly. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I'm not sure if I acted action ratings. Action ratings first. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I count. Minus 4 is 13, 12, 11 because they have support. 10 because they're in a terrain hex. That's a 10. Narrowly a situational retreat, unfortunately. So this is an A1 result, and this is a decreased steps. Very, very close. In hindsight, I should have got the infantry. I'll move these guys up here to surround the pioneers. These guys to attack, just so they're not blocking that road too much. Okay, let's get another attack up here, I guess. 1, 1.5, 2.5, and then 1. Sorry, on leg 1, 2. They'll attack. They'll support. Die roll. I know the. Oh, actually, this is a 2 less. So an 8 or more will cause that retreat. A 9. That's good. So it should be the same combat odds plus 2. Because the only difference here is they had an AR of 4, they have an AR of 2. It's the same dice roll, so basically add 2 gives me a result of 12, D1 and a retreat. Now this is an automatic retreat, they have to go back to their HQ. I'll hold that ground. Now, who did I say they were attacking? Now the question here is, does this open up enough of this road? Not with this support, so I'm going to have to disengage that support. It's what I'm thinking here is I could disengage this support from this unit and enable my attack movement units to basically bypass that hex in Lutzkampen and get on that road and across the Ur. The supply limit, the command range for the 112th is pretty big. 116th, sorry, is pretty big, 12. So I could bring their headquarters right up to here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They could, make this primary road. They may even be able to, if I can get them close enough. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can get this headquarters up even further. There is a chance the bridge will blow. I will need to make that check. But I think it's worth the risk. If I can get some of these 116th Panzer across that river, that'd be really nice. So let's strive for... Actually, yeah. Let's do that. I want to disengage support from here. It's going to be via an engagement, so I'll double check engagement charts. That's in a double objective zone. And I'm looking at this chart. These charts look very different to the ones that I've printed off on the sheets. So, I'm just thinking about the best possible odds for the support. It doesn't really matter, for engagement rather. It doesn't really matter. What I'm looking at here is these combined values, AV plus AR. It's 8 there. If I flip them over, it's 9. They would have a nice chance. They'll be 8. Keep in mind they have a movement cost of more than 12, so they subtract... I can't recall how many from their movement, but I will need to keep that in mind. I kind of want the best chance possible of disengaging that support just to get rid of it. So I'm going to load these guys up and go... This is a bit risky because this is Getting out my best armor unit. They will have a 4 plus 3 is 7. So I'll have a +2 modifier, +3 for double objective. I'm pretty sure it's -1 for prepared defense for engagements. Target only. My chart shows prepared defense +1. I'm going to double check that in the rules because I'm not sure why it's not showing up. There's nothing there about prepared defense. 5.2D. I'm not sure where the rules don't really explain the modifiers. All I know is that my chart, which is version 2, shows that the target gets a +1 modifier, which I will count for the Americans, assuming that my charts are most up to date. So, if these guys flip to this side, they can go 1, 2, 2.5, and they can attempt to drop support from this hex. It's a, as I said, a +2 net modifier. The double objective zone and the prepared defense cancel each other out. We're looking here at this support involved chart. +2 because we're looking at 5 + 4 versus 4 + 3 for that support. Yeah, that's their support. Alright, here we go. A 4, 5, 6 is narrowly target dropped. Okay, so support dropped temporarily. And now that that support is dropped, I might engage in shock combat against the hex. So this unit doesn't have an assault arrow, so they can't do regular combat. We're not looking at engagement anymore. I could attack by fire, but bearing in mind they're in terrain hex and it's a big stepped unit, won't do much. What I really want to do is remove them from this hex, that'll make this road even better. So we're looking at shock combat here. It's attack MA unit. It's a pretty good unit for shock combat because of this yellow background on its NATO symbol. It means it's hard. So let's get the combat charts up. We're looking at shock combat only. It is a hard red AV unit, so they add this modifier, double objective zone, and we'll throw our artillery in for suppression. But another thing that this chart is missing is when you use artillery for shock combat, you only add a +1, not a +2. So these charts must be out of date. Okay, so they've used one fire action for the engagement. Second fire action here is shock combat. Here we go. Let's do some maths. It's a 6, which isn't great. +4 is 10. It has the appropriate support, which is red. So 10, 11. 12 for the double objective zone, 13 for artillery, 14 for being hard red. So 14 minus 4 is 10. They've lost their support. 10, 9 prepared defense, 8 because they're in terrain, which is an A1 situational result. The Germans probably don't want that. It's not a good result for their armour. They're sacrificing an armour step, an important armour step, one of their best armour steps, for some infantry. Some good infantry nonetheless. Look, I could throw more shock combats at this. I'm just thinking how far can I get if I try to go around? So the terrain cost for this rolling terrain is 3 for attack movement. So it's going to cost them basically 3 to come off the road here, 3 to get back on the road. That's 6 movement points for basically 2 hexes, because I can't clear that little roadblock. I reduce their MA by 4, so they will have a movement allowance of just 10. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, they're not going to get far if they try to go off road. Having said that, these pioneers are blocking the road, so I think I'm going to have to actually I can bring my recon unit in. They've got a really good AR, they'll get the job done. They also have reduced movement of down to 12, but 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 6.5, and I'll mark that as a reminder in case I want to keep moving. Now they can engage in shock combat or regular combat. If they do regular combat, their movement basically ends there. 6.5. If I go up to here, that's now 9.5 movement points. Again, minus, what did I say? Minus 4. So, yeah, they've only got a movement allowance of 12. 5, 10, 11, 12. They could get up to Berg Rouland. I could do 2 things here. I could do 1-shot combat and then keep moving and see if this bridge is blown. If this bridge is blown, there's no point bringing this other panzer unit up. But as I said, these guys are very good at shock combat, and it'd clear that road, and these guys could fly up. I might do the regular combat because just because they're very high AR. It's going to finish them in that hex, but yeah, I'm pretty keen on getting these guys. I can't do regular combat because I've already done regular combat in this hex. I could do a shock combat. Yeah, you can only do 1 regular attack in a hex per turn, per activation. So it's going to have to be shock combat. It's going to have to be that second option moving north. Alright, so shock combat, here we go. It's going to have to be a good roll. That's it. I'm pretty confident this will get the job done. Shock combat. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 15. That's not very high, is it? 12. Oh, plus their AR. 20. 12, 17, 18, 19, 20. Minus the defenders 4, 16, 15, 14. That is convincingly a D2 retreat result. Finally got the job done. So D2 and a retreat back to their HQ. 1, 2, at least 3 hexes back to their HQ on their move side, and they should also be on their move side following their retreat. Something I missed earlier. And that was their shock combat, and they've moved, what did I say, 9.5, 10, 11, 11.5, and this is where we get to make a bridge demolition check. And I'd say this is a pretty important bridge. So I'm going to throw a grief marker at this one. Here we go. Mark finish? No. Send to graveyard perhaps? Send to graveyard. What this does is it adds a 2 dice from modifier. It means the bridge will only, whereas the bridge would normally blow on a D6 roll of 3 to 6, now it only blows on a D6 roll of 5 to 6. So fingers crossed the Germans want 1 to 4. Hey, the bridge is okay. This is good. And their extra half movement will be to there. So now I need to find these bridge markers. Where might these bridge markers be? Bridge not open. It just puts them on top. German headquarters tracks. Optional rules, no. Tiger. Help. Show all German units. Oh, that's just showing the German units. Maybe the headquarters would have the bridge okay. No. Maybe it's in the actual hex. No, if I right click there, nothing's happening. Pieces, perhaps. Here we go. It's got to be here, right? Pieces, miscellaneous markers, bridge, markers, bridge marker. Not quite the bridge marker I was thinking. Yep, but that'll do. And we can rotate that and show that the bridge is intact. Cool. Nice work. 116th Panzer. What this means is that this formation now, which also has -4 movement down to 10, can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, before I do that, they're up to 7. Sorry. Of course, you should always move headquarters up first. So throw 2 and guarantee it, Lynn. Sorry, Lynn, I just saw your comment. This is the important bridge, he's saying. I got lucky. Yep. Some saying, so Jezza's saying the rules are unclear and keep changing from one title to another. They, look, to be frank, Jezza, I just downloaded version 2 of the rules and am playing all games with that version. They are very, it's a very clear, well, it's a very clear, is clear the word? It's a very well written rulebook. It's very comprehensive. It's easy to find things. It's a new system. So there are just the way everything works in terms of your headquarters activations, in terms of the different types of combat. Initially hard to get your head around, but I'd say an easy rule system with a big learning curve, if that makes sense. So the rulebook is very, I found, easy to read, nice to read. I'm always referring back to it because, I'm always checking things, but I haven't touched the rules as written in the box here. I'm just using version 2 of the rules. So my headquarters needs to move up, and they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how far had these guys moved? What's their trail? 1, 2, 3. No, it's these guys. Wrong guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is 7. I saw that 7. I wasn't sure if that was them. 7, 8. And they now hold a pretty important crossroad. 8. And where to from here? Keep in mind they've only got 2 more. They could go 1, 2 down to here, 1, 2 further north. But look, to be honest, I like the idea of just holding this crossroad here. Prevents the Americans moving north-south along this primary road. And if I move any further, there's a slim chance that the Americans could move back into this crossroad. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to hold there. I think that's a pretty good activation by the 116th Panzer. They've cleared this secondary road. Let's update their train. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, it needs to get closer. So we'll move that up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to there. It is now Ghost. Brazen Chariots. Look, I think I haven't played Brazen Chariots yet, but I mean the system is brilliant in last Blitzkrieg. This was the first title in the series. This is the title that the rules were written for, and then Baptism by Fire and Brazen Chariots came afterwards. And I read someone's comment the other day that this is the best title in the series. Just for so many reasons. I think primarily how the system really suits this open path networked. The game, because of the supply system and the activation system, you're always looking at road networks. So everything I did here, this whole activation, this last sort of, how far are we, 25 minutes of gameplay, has been focused on clearing out this secondary road leading to this primary road. So you're always focused on, how can I clear out these roads? How do I get where I need to get? It's not necessarily about, I want to get my big units to the front and fight. It's about, I want to open these roads so I can drive west. And I think this map, this situation, really, really helps the rules shine. So my recommendation would be to go last Blitzkrieg. And you'll probably get that same recommendation from people who have played the other titles as well. Baptism by Fire is great for learning, and I'm very happy I played that first. Kind of cut my teeth on Baptism by Fire. It was a nice setting, very low counter density, not a lot of roads to have to worry about. So you know here where I activate this 116th Panzer, and I said, okay, do I go north or do I go south? All right, I'll see if I can kind of push here. There are fewer options like that in Baptism by Fire. You just got this one primary road with a few secondary tracks leading off left and right to help. Okay, so 116th also has this unit here which hasn't done anything, and they will go 1, 2, I believe is the open cost attack units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Let's think about this. Now they're -4. They've still got 4 movements left. 1, 2, 3. They could hold this crossroads. Let's check our headquarters command range. Well, they can go a long way up. 1, 2, 3, 4. They could get right up to here and hit those engineers. Jeez, an attack on Saint-Vie on turn 1. That's in command range. I really don't like their chances because, although they are a 4 AR unit versus 2 AR. Yeah, so Greg's saying the rules have been quite stable. To be honest, I don't know because I never read version 1 of the rules. I just read version 2, and they're very, very beautifully presented. And as I've talked about a lot in the past, the index of the rules is amazing. And whenever I need to search for anything, I've demonstrated this a lot. It's so easy to find. Support for the game is amazing as well. So if you've got any questions, there are a dozen people constantly active in various forums. Right now, I've got these guys, these guys, and they have 4 movement points left. And I'm wondering if I run the risk of driving north to Saint-Vie on this first turn. 116th Panzer. Do they want to stuff around Saint-Vie, or do they want to drive west? They could go 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way out here, and beyond that secondary road west, keeping in mind we are looking out here at La Roche and Ardennes, Hoffelaise. Big decisions for the 116th. See, I don't think I want to get caught up here's the thing. Let me look at some V. It's a city. So even if I get a good attack, that is going to take a step loss. A 3-step unit. And I'm not going to capture the city. So that's not going to happen. So I don't think I'll worry about that. But I think I will look to drive west. But in what direction? So this is having decided I'm not going to drive north along this primary road to St. V. I'm now looking at this route west, and I could stop here, or this route south, and I'd have to stop around here. And that doesn't help me all that much if I take the southern road. Yes, it's important to clear this primary road, and that's certainly a priority, but I like the idea of just being set up to drive further west. This combat train isn't going to stop me. If let's say I get the initiative next turn and I activate 116th Panzer first, they can clear that train out, and let's just have a think about how far they can get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They can be in Hoffelays next turn. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and a half. They could be at Parker's Crossroads. Go west, young man, Len is saying. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So they're set up right at the edge of that command range. And I like what they've done. So let's check their fatigue roll. They engage in combat, so it'll be 1 to 3. That's unfortunate. So their fatigue increases. And they are done. But a pretty good activation, considering they had 2 big infantry battalions on the road and a bridge to contest with. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, let's shift further to the north. We now have the 62nd Volks Grenadier. These guys have seen what's happened to their south, and they've got a lot to live up to. Let's roll for their snafu. They get a 7. They're fresh 8. Game specific 9, and they are drawing supply over here, which is optimal 10. So they get a double. And let's have a look at their roads. So they've got Schnee Eiffel here. 18th is already they're done. They also have red support, so they're pretty good at offensive actions too. Yeah, Jezza, I'm definitely recommending last Blitzkrieg with the latest version of the rules. If you watch through my live playthrough of the Southern Campaign, I kind of explain things as I go. So that's not Vassal. I actually played that on the map. I've also got learning diaries for Baptism by Fire. So if you watch the Baptism by Fire videos, I kind of explain many of the rules. It should help you get started. Let me give you an example of this activation. So these guys, the first thing you do is you pick what formation you can activate. I'll show you the formation. So we're activating these yellow units. I'll deactivate those guys so that we don't get confused. Highlight formation. There we go. So we're looking at this formation, the 62nd Volks Grenadier Division. First thing you do is you roll for snafu, and you apply various modifiers to this snafu roll. I've pretty got most of them memorized, and I know that 7 is going to be a decent roll in these circumstances. They're fresh. You add that. You look at their link to their combat train, which is over here. I know it's following secondary roads, so that's good trafficability. That's good. The combat train has not moved. When it does move, it has this little marker on it, which is a -1 modifier, so I know that doesn't apply. If it is between 5 and 15 hexes, it is optimal distance, which gives me another +1 modifier. All of that puts me above the 7 I needed to get a what's it called? A full activation. Two main things with the full activation: you get 2 objective markers, and you get full movement. Less than that, you get a partial, and if you get 2 or less after modifiers, it's a fail activation. Nobody can move. So now that this formation is activated, I can choose to move these units in any order I want. They cannot, however, move outside the command range, the little 6 here, of their headquarters. Now these have a very low command range compared to the 116th Panzer. They had a range of 12. These guys, Infantry Division, Volks Grenadier Division, just have a range of 6. So I need to be careful about that. I've got some units, ersatz units in the back here. These guys have very low action ratings. You can see the little 2 there in the middle. That means they're not going to be very effective at fighting. Fortunately, the defenders here aren't very effective either. They also got a 2. The defenders are also in terrain hexes. They're in wooded and whatever this is here. So I'm also looking at these units behind the lines here. Got some bicycle infantry, ersatz, and what I'm thinking is if I can get them to the front and get these units to actually engage in combat against these guys, it frees up these units to maybe move forward and beyond. The first thing I want to do is set up my objectives. Now I could split these like this, or just put them in the same hex. Each objective gives me an objective range, and I can attack any space within that range. So yeah, it doesn't really matter in these circumstances. What I want to look at now is if this unit can actually get close enough to attack. So 4 movement, 1, 2, 3.5 gets into there. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3.5. And he is going to attack. But before, let me undo that. Before I do that, I want to bring up some support. So I'm next wondering if this unit can assist this attack. Because they've only got 1, that doesn't really matter. Just their presence in combat helps. So they can go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I can bring up this unit. I know they can make it. So what I've got now is this unit attacking, this unit assisting. For combat, I consult... Oh, I don't want to switch sides. I want to bring up my combat chart. The way... I mean, the rules say add up all the modifiers, get a modifier, and then roll the 2 dice. I like to do it... I don't know why. Just roll the dice first. And then add up the attacker's modifiers first. So we've got attacker. They are supported by red support. So this gives them +1. They will use artillery for suppression. This headquarters has 3 + 2 for a total of 5 artillery. So they'll use 1 of those. That's +3 assistance. That other unit that I brought up. Where are they now? This unit here is +4. It's a double objective zone. Those 2 objective markers in the same zone. So +5. And that should be it. So it's a +5 modifiers to the attacker. Plus their AR, which is 2, giving them a +7, giving me a result of 13 before I subtract the defender's modifiers. Now the defenders have an AR of 2. Plus, are they supported? The 106th, where are they? They're all the way up here. Now they are out of command range. I'll talk about that in a moment. So they still count their support, but they don't count the prepared defense. They're out of command range, so they don't benefit from this prepared defense modifier, which is good for the Germans. So +1 for being supported. They are supported by limited support. That's okay. That they count that modifier in defense. They don't count prepared defense. They're in a terrain hex, so +1 gives the defender 4 modifiers. A net result of 13 - 4 is 9. And if I look on this chart, a 9 is an A1 situational. Now, the A1, they take a step loss if the defender is in prepared defense, otherwise no loss. And the retreat is a retreat unless they're in a prepared defense. But keeping in mind, this unit is out of command range and they don't benefit from prepared defense, so there is no A1. They do then suffer a situational retreat. Situational retreat, leg MA, they, here we are, retreat 3 hexes and flip to their move side. So they go 1, 2, 3 back to Winterspelt. And the attacker can advance. Any assisting units that are stacked with them can advance as well. I don't think it's mandatory. I think it's optional. And I don't really want to advance with this Ersatz unit. I want to keep them on this road because these guys are going to have to move back onto the road anyway, which can be costly. Keeping them on the road helps them with their next movement. Okay, so they've retreated back towards their headquarters. Incidentally, they're now in command range, but they're on their move side, which reduces their AR. And that's just an example of sort of part of one activation with one attack. Let's try to attack this unit now. So 1, 2, and we'll go 1, 2. So I'm keeping these 2 units available for potential follow-up movement and possibly follow-up attack on this unit. Going to launch an attack on this unit. Roll the die. It's a 6, 7. So are they in command range? They are just in command range, unfortunately. So, we'll do attacker modifiers. They have 2 AR, plus their red support, plus suppression, plus assistance, plus a double objective zone. Equals 5, 6, 7. Defender modifiers. They have 2 AR, plus their support, plus prepared defense, which they benefit from now, plus they are in a terrain hex, so they have support, prepared defense, terrain hex. Gives them a 5. So it's a net +2 modifier, result of 8, which is an A1 situational retreat. So we know the attacker suffers 1 hit. It's a situational retreat, so same as result as last time, but this time they are in prepared defense. So instead of retreating, they'll just take a step loss. And I've just realized they're only a 2-step unit, so in hindsight, I probably should have thrown all my artillery at a destruction barrage against them, but didn't notice that they're only 2 steps. Alright, so we do have 2 other infantry here, and this is my objective zone, so I can't do much else. But what else can I do? Get these guys on the road. We'll come around 1. So what I'm thinking is, do I try to lock these guys in to prevent them from retreating? Or do I give them a retreat path? So I can't bombard this hex again. It's already been bombarded once. So yeah, 1 hex unit. I might try and lock this unit in and get this unit. So they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. It locks this unit into zones of control. They won't be able to move anyway, basically. This unit can still retreat, and I think I'll just get the Pioneers. Onto that road. 1, 2. Yeah, that's about it. Look, we'll move our headquarters up as well to get them close to the front. They'll go 1, 2 up to there, and we'll get our bicycle infantry 1, 2, 3, 4. Unfortunately, they couldn't do anything to really break through. But they'll hang about there. And the last thing we do, the last couple of things we do is we roll for fatigue. So because they engaged in a regular combat, they suffer fatigue on a roll of 1 to 3. No fatigue. There is a chance though that they get a second activation. So on a 5 or less, they get a second activation. They are fresh, so they get a bonus -1 modifier to the die roll. No, is it -1 or +1? +1 modifier to the die roll. So that becomes a 2. So they miss anyway, they don't get a second activation, and we mark them as done, and we can stop highlighting that. Oh, so we've got our combat train over here. This is where they draw supply from. Let's just have a look at the length here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's just a little bit too far away, so I'll bring this closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now that combat train, you can basically place this anywhere on a road. And now that they've moved, they become flipped, and that'll be a -1 modifier to that formation's next activation. So we have done the 18th, we started here. We have done the 3rd Volksjäger, we have done the 12th Volks Grenadier, yep, they're in the middle here. Now we get to some very, very tricky activations. I'm going to start with the 277th Volks Grenadier here. What I want to do, I was thinking about this last night, is I want to bring them down and try and hit these 2 units. This unit in particular, one, I don't know if I can get there, but that's what I want to do. That's going to be tough. That objective shouldn't be there. But while I'm here, let's clone it. What I want to do is set an objective here, double objective here, and attack this unit, clear it out, drive down, and then attack this unit and clear it out. And if I can do that, it's ambitious, but if I can clear out these 2 units, it will enable Kampf Group Piper to come rolling down this road through this gap towards Bullingen. Ambitious, but... and it's just a very small division. So it's really ambitious, but let's give it a go. We will roll for their snafu. It's going to be full. I will place 2 objective markers here, and we will clear out this this 2nd Battalion of the 394th Infantry Regiment of the 99th Division, blocking this main road, this secondary road rather. Now, as I said, I want to keep this unit and this unit, 1, 2, yeah, I want to keep them fresh for a potential southern attack. So I want to get these northern units down south. So they're going to go district terrain 1, 2, 3.5, and 1, 2, 3 and a half. They're going to be in support, so that unit will be attacking. And 5-step unit, it has to be a suppression barrage. Let's before I do the die roll, just to change pace a little bit, I'm going to do my modifiers first. So it's an AR of 2 plus suppression plus assistance. I'll get up the chart so you can see what I'm doing here. Do I have red modifier? I do have red support with this, so that's another +1, and it's a double objective zone. I don't have to look at the chart, I kind of know all these, but we get supported, suppression, assistance, double objective zone. That's it. For a +7 modifier for the attacker. Now the defender has got 3. This is a 99th Infantry. They have support, and they're in a prepared defense, and they're in command range, so this is going to be tough. +1 for that support, +1 for the prepared defense, and +1 because they're in a terrain hex is 6. So it's a net +1 to the die roll. For the attacker, it's tough. And a 6 gives me a 7. A1 situational. Wow. There we go. Situational retreat means they would retreat, but because they're in a prepared defense, they just lose a step. That was ambitious, and again, in hindsight, I should have stayed off the road. 1, 2. I can't get to this other unit, unfortunately. So all I can really do now is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they can make it. I'll push my infantry into these areas. And I'll move my headquarters. What I'm thinking here is, yeah, Look, I'm probably still making mistakes, so don't rely on me too much. What I'm saying, but it's been I've played many hours now. I'm probably up to about 50 hours of BCS. Check the 106th command range. The 106 down here. Where were they? Yeah, so the first defender was down here, Lynn, and they were out of command range, and thus didn't count prepared defense, and they retreated. The second defender up here were in command range, so I counted their prepared defense, and they took a step loss instead of retreating. So all I'm doing here is trying to get off this secondary road to enable 12th Panzer to come down, because I've toyed with this northern route. I don't like it, or at least I want to keep the option open for 12th Panzer to come down this road, and that kind of means getting this headquarters off the road. But I don't think I can do that because they are treated. They have special rules for headquarters. They rolling terrain, rolling. They use foot movement, but they can't enter areas that trucks can't move. So they could go in down here. What I'm thinking is moving these headquarters into this space just to get them off this road, just to help prevent these formations from mixing if the 12th SS comes down here. It then means, though, that their combat trains will have to use tracks. I could leave the... what I'm thinking now is, what do I really want to do with the 12th SS? And what I was kind of thinking is bringing them down here to attack, but now I've got these guys on the road. It's going to be really tough. I could kind of go off-road down here. I do have a lot of these 2nd Infantry hanging around Elsenborn, which could be really problematic. Maybe I activate Kampfgruppe Piper first, and they try to punch through somewhere. So this is the problem. There's a lot of roadblocks here. So I think I'd like to get 12th SS activating next, and trying to clear this bottleneck that I've got here in Gerolstein Forest, which means getting these guys off the road and look, I'll leave their train where it is. Actually, no, look, what am I doing? I'll leave it there because there's a chance they get a second activation. Oh, it's 5 or 6. It's a very slim chance of a second activation. The other option is I drive the headquarters right up to the front. I can push them up here. As a very, very, very forward HQ. Some tough decisions, and it all comes down to what formation I'm activating next and what they're going to do. I think I'll leave them right there. I'll roll for fatigue. No fatigue. A second activation on a 5 or a 6. Hey, they actually get a second activation, a second bite of the cherry. Okay, let's roll for their snafu. It's good. It's going to be a double. Okay, well this could change things. Instead of driving down here, change of plans. We might drive up here instead. I could clear these engineers out. It clears this road, so I want to get these guys off the road. Or I could split my objectives and attack everywhere. I could send an objective here. I could attack this hex. They'd be in range. I'd get 3 attacks off. I'm going to do that, okay? So I am actually going to get these guys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, they're in range. I'm going to get them off this road, move down here, and then going to attack this hex here. This is just 1 infantry, same as last time, but what's the difference? They don't get the double objective modifiers. So it's the same modifiers, but -1 for the attacker, because it's not a double objective zone. So it's basically whatever they roll is what they get. That's 6. That's not good. Once again, I've got this pattern of 6s. For combat, a 6 is just an A1 result. I kind of expected that wouldn't go well. Now, we've got these guys attacking here. And this should be a pretty similar combat, but with 1 extra modifier for the defender. The only difference between this combat and this combat is the defender has 2 units stacked here for a +1 modifier. So it's going to be a -1 to the defender. Roll a 7, here's a 6, that's going to be an A1 result. And then we'll attack up here. And we'll get these guys to attack with this unit in support. Let's work this out again. So the attacker has 2 AR plus a suppression plus assistance equals 5 versus the defender 2 plus support. Oh, did I count the attacker support? They've got red as well. 2 plus 1. 2 AR, support, suppression, assistance equals 6. Versus the defender 2 AR, 1 support, 1 prepared defense, 1 unit in the hex, not 2, plus 1 for defense equals 2, 5. So that's a net +1 for the defender. And the die roll is a 9, 10. Yeah, okay. It's an A1 situational. That's yeah. And now I'm actually going to move this headquarters 1, 2, 3, 4 and get them just into this area. Fatigue on a 1 to 3. No, they're still fresh and they're done. So now we've got this secondary road. Actually, yeah, I'll leave that. I'll leave that train where it is. Now I've got the secondary road clear to. Oh, the combat didn't go well. Oh wait, I've got 1 more combat to do. Did I do this one? Yeah, I did, didn't I? I suffered 7 losses. I've opened this road, the secondary road, for the 12th SS to move down. Okay, so my plan here, the broader plan, is 12th SS is going to try and clear these units, just as the 277th were trying to do, to enable Kampfgruppe Piper to roll through here. Again, part of a broader plan. Things will likely go wrong. These 2 infantry are really, really frustrating the German plans. So how are we going to get enough units down here? Well, let's roll for our... They're being used, so they only get 1 activation, and they may not even get it. So it's a 3 or more, 4 or more to get a second activation, plus they're fresh, makes it 3 or more. They do get a second activation. So they will be... I'll enter done mode just to make that clear. Now these guys do have an attack arrow. They've got 3 AR, 2 AR. And I've got these potential shock combat -4. So they will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can reach it. 9. 10 if I can get this one out of the way first. Alright, so maybe we get our infantry down here. And we get an infantry attack. I'm checking. So with woods, it'd cost... Oh, they're going to have... They're going to be penalised on this first turn with their functional movement allowance of 12 or more. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so they'll only get a movement of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's enough. I think I'll get these guys to lead the attack, and it doesn't really matter who follows. But these guys might be available for a second regular attack on the southern unit if I make it through. So I kind of want to... Actually, I'll start with these. I'll start with the 2 AR units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's as far as I can go. Really? Actually, no. It's trucks. So that's a half. Where's their trail? It would have been 1, a half, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's as far as they go. They get 1 extra movement point. These guys go a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They still can't make it. Basically 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Might put that below them and put a clear label on them to show that they belong to the 277th Volks Grenadier. This is handy. I can put this little label on the support to show when the formations get close who it actually belongs to. 1 in effect, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They also can't reach. Alright, so I'm really only going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can barely reach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wait, I've got this infantry blocking the road here, and they have a heck of a lot of support. No, 99th Infantry. Where is the 99th headquarters? Oh, right here. Yep, they do have support. So before I do any of this movement, I basically need to disengage support from this unit blocking this hex. None of this was legal, but I can fix it up if I just say, hey, oh, there's 2 units here. Oh, I've got some... I didn't see them. They're pretty good for getting support. They're getting getting support dropped. All right, so we'll bring our jug panzers up. They'll go -4, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now in this hex, they'll try to drop support. It is 9 plus 2 plus 3 is 5, so I get a plus 4 modifier. Prepared defense plus 3 modifier. 5, 6, 7, 8. That will drop the support. Target drop, yep, so these guys have their support temporarily dropped for this activation. They can keep moving. 1, 2. Now they'll move up there. Now this is before any of this infantry moved. And who are we looking at here? 99th Division. I might try and drop their support as well, just to help with... Or how far have they moved? Let me try their move trail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9. I might attempt a shock combat because they've got a decent AR. They are hard yellow. And keep in mind, this infantry technically isn't here yet, because this unit had to move first to disengage support. The other alternative is I disengage support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, they have to stop as well. It's not just disengaging support, it's actually an infantry zone of control. So I need to kind of really push them out of there. So if I stop here, now I engage in shock combat against this hex. It's not just so movement units can move past a foot unit zone of control, but I don't think trucks can. Trucks and foot units have to stop in a foot unit's zone of control. I'm just going to quickly double check that, but I'm pretty sure 4.3 is zones of control rules. Okay, leg and truck must stop if they enter any zone of control. Yeah, so to make this legal, I have to make sure that these guys, again, this is an error that I've made basically. I have to hope that these guys clear this hex out. So they will do a shock combat. They've disengaged the support. Great. Now, shock combat. Let's look at the modifiers for this. And keep in mind, this is not necessarily... I need an objective, so I would have had to put an objective there and an objective there, so I don't get the double objective. Okay. Alright, well, that has to be done, I think, in hindsight. So, we've got an AR of 4, plus, this is an engagement, combat is here, plus they have red support, plus 1, plus suppression of 1, plus they are hard red for 1, equals 7, versus a defense of 2, plus they've lost their support, prepared defense plus terrain is 4, so that's a net plus 3 to the attacker. Alright, here we go. And it's going to have to be good. Oh, that's terrible. That's a 6, that's an A1 result. Which means, to make this legal, I'm going to have to bring up some more some more of my armor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They will attempt an attack as well. They have the same AR, but they will do an attack by fire first. So the support has been disengaged. They can do an attack by fire. They basically spend a fire action to roll. Attack by fire. Combat, not shown here. Yeah, these are the old charts basically. Under version 2 of the rules, attack by fire on a unit in a prepared defense hits on a 5 or 6. Let's give it a go. Hey, actually causes a step loss. Decrease steps. Okay. The main reason I did this was for the +1 modifier that provides in combat. So the combat should be exactly the same. Same AR, hard unit, but instead of a +3, I've now done I've prefaced this with an attack by fire, so it's a +4 die roll modifier to my shock combat. 11 gives me 15, which is a D2 result and a retreat. So they are sent to the graveyard. Well, that was outstanding. And that's it. That then, okay, clears the road for these infantry to subsequently move through. I did that in the wrong order. I didn't realise they projected a zone of control onto this road. But I've corrected it. Lucky that combat went well. If that had failed, and I couldn't clear the zone of control, I could have got a chance here. I could have maybe moved through some armour in here and then attacked again. But, okay. With that done, I can now get an attack down here. So I've got two options. I can bring up this infantry. Oh, the other thing I should be doing is moving my headquarters up into the area, because what's their zone? Actually, they're in command range, but let's bring them up to here. Now they are going to be crossing streams with the 277th. I recognise that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's the cost of moving through this area. So two options here. I can bring up... Oh, I've got some more units below here. Ah, okay. Attack, movement, infantry. And they're pretty good, actually. -4 is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They could get in there and hit. And they've got a slightly better AR. I think I'd like to do that. Although, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could save them for an attack on here if successful here. I think it's fair to say my chances of success here are relatively slim. I've got a couple of options here. I can send in the slightly weaker unit, hoping for the best. I would need a pretty good die roll. I could send this slightly strong unit in. They give it +1 modifier. Or I could send my hard unit in. They could do a preparatory fire, attack by fire, and then shock combat, or just 2 shock combats. Because of this road network, because there's only one road leading in, I don't have a lot of choices here. Yeah. What's going to be the best? Again, thinking long term, I want to clear this hex out so that I can get through to here. I really think I need to get the best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the road go? 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm really torn here because I want to do both things. I want to kill this unit off and then kill that unit off. Is that being too ambitious? I'm going to bring the bigger unit in just for that extra modifier. 1, so -4 to their movement is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now from here, they are going to engage in a regular attack with this unit assisting. So they've got an AR of 4, they have red support, they are suppression with assistance is a net modifier of 8. Now the defenders have got an AR of 3 plus support. If I, did this really well, I probably would have dropped the support first to subtract these modifiers from these combats, but yeah, haven't done it. Let me get the charts up. So what have I got here? 3 AR plus support plus prepared defense. 1 combat unit in terrain equals 6. So we're looking at a +2 modifier to the attacker on this combat roll, and they need an 11 or more to cause a retreat. So they need a 9 or more on this roll to get rid of this unit. No, it's a 7 plus 2 is 9, which is an A1 situational retreat. So they take a step, and they take a step, which means that the rest of these, we've got these guys way back here as well. Oh, they're really good. They can set additional objectives. This recon unit back here. Is there another path to get down here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could come down here, but I've got to stop there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not going to get far on these tracks. All right, let's get. I didn't see these guys up the top here. Kampf Group Bremer, are they? Bremer, yeah. They're a good unit. If I would have seen them, might have done something with them. I still have this objective here. I could mix formations with the 277th. It's kind of borderline. You could say there are distinct blobs here. They've moved west of that road. 12th SS is on that road. I'm pretty happy with that because that's what I had planned. So let's move more of these SS guys down. They got movement of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they can't go any further. It costs them, I think, 4 to get into these woods, and they'd have to stop, so they can't make it. Now. I'm eyeing off these other roads to see if there's some other way I can get there. I just don't think there is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No. It's just not possible. So where do we bring them to? Down to these tracks somewhere, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8.5 So they could have entered this woods, but they're half a movement point short. Half a movement point short. Yep. They could have gone to the woods, stopped, but then attacked. No. Anyway, they can't anyway. These guys with a movement of 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, okay. That's a shame. They didn't even get through one infantry. That's how well, they cleared out these guys up here blocking the road, but alright, fatigue for the formation on a 1 to 3. No fatigue, and they are done. Oh boy. So just check the reinforcement track 2. Yeah, okay. When they activate, when Concrete Pipe activates, they have reinforcements coming on as well. So we're really looking at these units over here now, and they don't have a clear path through. They're in trouble. They're going to have to, I think, mix formations. Let's get Comp Group Piper, seeing if they get a second activation on a 2 or more because they're fresh. They do. So we'll mark them as done just so I don't activate them again. Heavy Mine -4, so they have 10. Attack movement along primary road is half, so let's check their snafu. It's a 6, 7 for their fresh, 8 for specific, 9. They get the double objective. And before I place these, let's actually think about where they can move to. So 10 movement points from here. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They can't get anywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think they're just going to line up behind this bridge here and wait for next turn and say, hey, 3rd Volksjäger and 12th Volksjäger, it's your job to clear the roads for us to move along. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. I believe that's... Oh, okay, 7. They can go 8, 9. They don't get the road benefit. 10, and then overstacking. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They can go a long way, but they just can't get anywhere they need to get to. So, look, in the interest of keeping 12th Volks Grenadiers supply line clear and 3rd Volksjäger supply line clear, I think they're just going to stop there. They'll move up. They'll move up. They'll move up. They have a movement of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They can go there as well. And we have our reinforcements coming on from here. Alright, so they come in from here, basically, yeah, that hex, and they have a movement of 12. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 and a half. They can all make it. They have a movement of 8. That's fine. And I've just noticed what's first SS. So they haven't activated yet. Okay, good. And what's their supply like path? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, look, if I move the headquarters just back one space, they're at optimal distance for their next activation. So I'll do that. Yeah, optimal to there. Keep that there. They're still fresh. No objectives, so no fatigue. They're all set up for the 17th, basically. Yeah, that'll do. If the 12th Volks Grenadier were a little bit more careful with their early activation, we could have made it, really. Yeah. So early planning, early activations can be critical. So they're now done. Let's get the first SS to come on, and right, so they've all got reinforcements. We've got the 150th. Is it the 150th Brigade? Yeah. So these guys are coming in from here. They're used, so they just get a chance of a second activation. 1 to 3. Yep. And where do they go? In hindsight, I'm kind of thinking, well, because this failed, I wish I would have sent the 12th SS around to the north, but I didn't. So now, the first SS. And I'm looking around at road networks. There's really only this one road. This is going to be a bottleneck, basically. 8 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And guess what? They're going to be crossing streams. We'll actually bring their 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll bring them down. Oh, snafu, sorry. It's a push. 2, 3 for being fresh. 3 for being fresh. I think it's 4. 3. Sorry. It's 4. 5 for being fresh. 6 for game specific. 7 for optimal distance. So no penalty. So they actually get a double, despite that low roll. And I'm sure there are no problems with these units coming up. Okay. And of course that was their second activation technically, so they are done. No objectives, so... Oh wait, that was actually their second activation, so they would have to roll for on a 1 to 2 fatigue. No, and these guys also should have rolled 1 to 2 fatigue. No. Look at these die rolls. On a d6, they're pretty high. Okay. So we still have the 150th Brigade. They also come in the same area. Well, I'm so tempted to send them up to the north just to... I will actually. I'll see what they can do up in the north. So look, they're used, so they get a second activation on, if they're fresh, a 4 or more. They do. So they're going to use this northern road, trucks, from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. So the infantry can get up to here as well. Oh, snafu, sorry. Yep, full. And they're up only have 12 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And again, if the 3 to 26, they could move one forward, but then they'd be mixing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I haven't been keeping track of those. And their train is, I'm sure, 15 away, so let's move it up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there. Okay. No other German reinforcements. We just... did I see... Oh, first SS. So when... I forgot to move these guys. I don't know what they can do, really. But move up here with the rest of the division. And I think that's it for the Germans. They're all done. And I might wrap it up here because there's going to be a bit of end of turn. Oh, well, I'll figure out. I'm sure there are... Yeah, remove that. That doesn't work. Reset. I'll double check all these, but I'll save it first and then double check all these buttons. So look, I don't know if this is a good German opening or not. I spent 4 activations trying to clear out this area and failed. So the Americans have got to be happy. Not only failed, but they're still there with 5 SPs and 3 steps left. So they hold it with only... I mean, they don't... They're single stacked units. What's helping them is prepared defense, limited support, and I mean, these guys have 4 AR. These guys do at least. They should have broken through. These guys failed as well. Again, if I would have coordinated this a little bit better, I could have got some better attacks on here. What I could have done is, well, brought my AV unit up first. Drop support, shock combat, that's 1 combat, and then brought the infantry up for 2nd combat, but yeah, I was a bit clumsy. This is where planning really helps. The more you plan in this game, the better you do. And it's one of those wonderful games where there's a joy in planning everything you do. As I said, folks, I'm going to save it here. I'll end the stream. I'll go through all the sort of end of turn administration, and I'll continue this later at the start of the 17th turn. So when I come back, in maybe 24 hours or so, we'll be ready to go with the first activation. Assuming I can save it. Yep, okay, I'll save it now before it dies. All right, thanks everyone. Take care, and I'll talk to you all soon.